Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs of 21st of May. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app, and here you can get the current affairs in quiz format as well as in easy digest format, and this is how you can attempt the quiz in this app. Now for regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. This is the name of Telegram channel, GKToday YouTube. We have started a new channel, Civils Academy. So if you find it relevant, you can subscribe it. The link of this Telegram channel as well as link of GKToday Academy app is given in the description box. Please check that. Now let's start. Who is the chairperson of committee of experts whose recommendations on defense reforms have been accepted and implemented? So recently, government implemented few important recommendations of committee of experts under the chairmanship of Lieutenant General D.B. Sekhatkar, and this committee had recommended to speed up the process of road construction on the border areas. Apart from that, it also recommended that the work, that means the road construction work that is beyond the capacity of BRO, should be outsourced. What is BRO? It is Border Road Organization, and it is under Ministry of Defense. The committee also recommended that for projects above ₹100 crore, the work should be done through EPC. What is EPC? EPC stands for Engineering Procurement Contract. So for projects above 100 crores, EPC mode should be followed. In addition to that, following the recommendations of this committee, the procurement power of BRO has been increased from 7.5 crores to 100 crores for domestic and for foreign procurements. Now, the previous limit was 7.5 crore. Now, it has been increased up to 100 crores. Which country announced a $2 billion fund to help developing countries for fighting COVID-19 at the recently held World Health Assembly? So, recently the 73rd World Health Assembly held virtually, and from Indian side, our Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan participated in this. And China committed $2 billion to fight against this COVID-19 during this World Health Assembly. Now, it was the 73rd World Health Assembly. Now, World Health Assembly is the top decision-making body of WHO, that is World Health Organization. Recently, WHO was in news as USA decided to stop the funding of WHO. WHO was also in news as Dr. Harshvardhan is going to take charge as the chairperson of Executive Board of WHO. And this Executive Board is a 34-member board. So, Dr. Harshvardhan is going to take charge. The previous chairperson was from Japan. Recently, Japan was in news because of Hanko. Answer in comment box, what is Hanko? Now, Japan was also in news as recently it launched new space defense unit to monitor and to counter threats to the satellites of country. Japan was also in news as recently a joint study was conducted by the IIT Delhi and AIST of Japan, and this study found that ashwagandha can be effective preventive drug for COVID-19. What is AIST? It is Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, and it is the National Institute of Japan. What is the theme of World Hypertension Day that was observed on 17th of May? So, right answer is measure your blood pressure, control it, and live longer. This was the theme. Now, it is important to note that due to this COVID-19 pandemic, the celebrations of World Hypertension Day has been postponed to 17th of October 2020. Usually, it is observed on 17th of May. On which day the International Museum Day is celebrated? So, it is celebrated on 18th of May. And the theme for this year, International Museum Day, was Museums for Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. And on this occasion, the Culture Ministry hosted a webinar on revitalizing the museums and cultural spaces. Answer in comment box, who is our present Culture Minister? Which Indian Nobel laureate was present in the group of laureates which called for all governments to spend 1 trillion USD for marginalized children. So recently, approximately 88 Nobel laureates across the world, including Kailash Satyarthi, united and called for the governments to spend 1 trillion USD for the marginalized children during this lockdown imposed due to COVID-19. Now answer in comment box in which year Kailash Satyarthi won the Nobel Prize. Who was the head of ICC Cricket Committee which has recommended the ban of using the saliva to polish the ball? So saliva is used to shine the ball so that it swing better. Now, saliva can be a major source of transmission of coronavirus. Therefore, the ICC Cricket Committee, which is headed by Anil Kumble, recommended the ban of saliva to shine the ball. Now, it is important to note that the use of sweat to shine was not prohibited. However, the committee prohibited the use of some external substance to shine the ball. Now, what is ICC? It is International Cricket Council. The headquarters of ICC is in Dubai. Dubai is in UAE. Recently, UAE was in news as Robin Singh was appointed as the Director of Cricket in UAE. UAE was also in news as recently it was declared as reciprocating territory by India. Kevin Mayer, who was recently seen in news, is set to become the Chief Executive Officer of which popular platform? So the former executive of Walt Disney, Kevin Mayer, is set to become the Chief Executive Officer of TikTok, and TikTok is owned by ByteDance Technology. It is a China-based company. Now Walt Disney has appointed Rebecca Campbell to replace Kevin Mayer. Which country's cabinet has approved their new political map that included Lipu Lake, Kalapani and Limpiadhura? So recently there was a controversy regarding boundary between India and Nepal. Now this controversy came into picture when Indian Defence Minister recently inaugurated a link road that passes through Lipu Lake, and this Lipu Lake is in the territory of Kalapani. So it is in the territory of Kalapani. Now Nepal claimed that it is territory of Nepal, while India claimed that it is our territory. In fact, it is under the Indian administration as a part of Uttarakhand state. Now, in this context, recently Nepal included new political map that included these areas. So, right answer is Nepal. Now, Indian government has already clarified that the border disputes with Nepal will be solved through diplomatic means, and India has already proposed a dialogue after this COVID-19 situation. However, Nepal tried to complicate the situation unnecessarily. Now, Nepal was also in news as recently Ministry of Commerce and Industry suspended the import licenses for refined palm oil from Nepal, Bangladesh and Indonesia for the violation of rules of origin criteria. Now answer in comment box, what is this rules of origin criteria? Now if we talk about palm oil, recently a rare variety of palm tree was in news and it is Pinanga andamanis. Now this variety of palm was in news as recently it was replanted in Kerala. Previously it was only in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now it was replanted in the JNTBGRI. What is JNTBGRI? It is Jawaharlal Nehru Tropical Botanic Garden and Research Institute, and it is in Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. So why this was done? This was done to prevent the extension of this rare palm tree species. Which Indian state has launched the Charan Paduka campaign to assist migrant laborers? So we have already covered it in our news section. It was launched by Madhya Pradesh and it was started from the police station at Indore, and it is being implemented with the help of civilians. Now what is the purpose of this campaign? The purpose is to assist the migrant laborers who are walking barefoot. So through this campaign, slippers and footwears are provided to such migrant laborers. 18th of May is observed to acknowledge the medical community who are working to find a safe vaccine for which disease? So 18th of May is observed as AIDS Vaccine Day. AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome, and this disease is caused by HIV. What is HIV? It is Human Immunodeficiency Virus. So 18th of May is observed as AIDS Vaccine Day, while 20th of May is observed as World Bee Day. And the theme of this year's World Bee Day was Save the Bees. How many cities of India were given the 5-star garbage-free tag under the garbage-free star rating for cities? So, it is an initiative of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and as per this initiative, 6 cities were given the 5-star garbage-free tag, and these 6 cities are Ambikapur in Chhattisgarh, Indore in Madhya Pradesh, Rajkot and Surat in Gujarat, Mysore in Karnataka, and Navi Mumbai in Maharashtra. We have already covered this question in our yesterday's news section. Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, which were recently in news, are the countries of which continent? So these are the countries of Europe, and recently they were in news because of a travel bubble. What is travel bubble? It means the travel within a limited area or within a bubble is allowed. Now, why this concept was in news? It was in news because recently these 3 countries allowed a travel bubble in this pandemic situation. That means it allowed the movement of people between these 3 countries. However, if anyone is going to enter from outside, that means anyone from outside is going to enter in either of these 3 countries, they will have to go through the quarantine process. But if anyone is willing to move within these 3 countries, then they can move freely. So, due to this travel bubble concept, these 3 countries were in news. And these 3 countries are known as Baltic nations, as they share the border boundary with Baltic Sea. The CBM extraction rights of Coal India was proposed to be auctioned. Now the question is, what does CBM stand for? So CBM stands for Coal Bed Methane, and recently, as a part of stimulus package, it was announced that the auction of coal bed methane blocks from Coal India and auction of 50 coal blocks will be done immediately for commercial mining. So CBM is a form of natural gas extracted from coal beds. So CBM, that is coal bed methane, is a form of natural gas that has been extracted from a coal bed. Who has been conferred the 2019 Alexander Dalrymple Award for his contribution to Indian hydrography? So India's chief hydrographer of Indian Naval Hydrographic Vice Admiral Vinay Badwar has been awarded this Alexander Dalrymple Award for his contribution to Indian hydrography. Smiling Buddha was the codename of which first of its kind of operation of India. So it is operation which is related to the first nuclear test in the Pokhran in Rajasthan, which was conducted by India on 18th of May. And recently it was in news as India celebrated the 46th anniversary of this nuclear test. And so Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister at that point of time. So these were the most important questions of today's quiz. Now we are going to cover the important news. So first news is related to WHO, that is World Health Organization, and recently WHO was in news as it decided to initiate an independent inquiry in handling of COVID-19. Now this was done because of a resolution at 73rd World Health Assembly, and this resolution was backed by India also. Actually, the idea of this resolution was started by Australia and this was drafted by European Union. And on the basis of this resolution, WHO decided to start an independent inquiry in handling of COVID-19. Next news is related to NTA, that is National Testing Agency. So recently, a new mobile application has been launched, National Test Abhyas, and this was launched by MHRD Minister Mr. Ramesh Nishank. And this application will help the students to take mock tests for exams such as NEET and JEE. Next is related to UNRWA. What is UNRWA? It is United Nations Relief and Works Agency. So recently, This agency was in news as India provided $2 million support to this agency for their work for Palestinian refugees welfare. So, it is United Nations Relief and Work Agency. Next news is related to railboat. So, South Central Railway Zone has developed this robotic device named railboat or R-boat to assist in the functions of hospital management to provide better health care to COVID-19 patients. Next is related to the book of Ruskin Bond, and the title of this book is Hope on My Adventures on Boat, Trains and Planes, and the illustrations for this new book has been done by Samrat Haldar. Next is related to Thomas Thabane. So, he was the Prime Minister of Lesotho and recently he resigned from the post of Prime Minister. Now answer in comment box. Lesotho is a country of which continent and what is the capital of this country? Next is related to BSE and NSE. What is BSE? It is Bombay Stock Exchange. What is NSE? It is National Stock Exchange. So recently these two decided to reduce the listing fees for SME by 25%. What is SME? SME stands for Small and Medium Enterprises. So this listing fees was reduced in the backdrop of this coronavirus pandemic and this will help the small and medium enterprises. Next is related to Maharashtra. So recently Maharashtra started Me Annapurna and it is an inclusive program that has been launched for the welfare of farmers in Maharashtra. Next is related to NABARD. So NABARD stands for National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development and recently NABARD released 20,500 crores for RRB and cooperative banks so that they can lend to farmers. Now this amount is a part of 25,000 crores announced by the RBI for refinancing of NABARD. Next is related to Ayushman Bharat. So recently this scheme was in news as on 20th of May it completed 1 crore beneficiaries. Now answer in comment box which ministry is a nodal ministry for this Ayushman Bharat scheme. The scheme was previously known as NHPS, that is National Health Protection Scheme, and this scheme provides an insurance cover of Rs 5 lakh per annum per family. The eligible families under the scheme are fixed on the basis of SECC. Now answer in comment box what is SECC. Next news is related to Amphan. So recently the National Crisis Management Committee meeting held to review the preparedness of the cyclone Amphan. Now answer in comment box who is the head of this National Crisis Management Committee. Next is related to an organization named Federation of India Export Organization. So recently, as per the report of this organization, Indian export are to fall by 20% due to this lockdown situation. Now this FIEO is an organization under Commerce Ministry and this organization is a premier body of Export Promotion Council. Next question is related to Indian Railways. So recently, the Indian Railway operationalized the first 12,000 HP stands for horsepower, electric locomotive and this locomotive was built by the French company Alstom. It is a French company and this was built under Make in India initiative and this was manufactured at Madhya electric locomotive in Bihar. Actually it is a joint venture between India and France. So with this locomotive, India became the 6th country in the world to produce high horsepower locomotive. Next is related to Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir started Sukoon initiative in order to handle the stress due to this COVID-19. Apart from that, recently Jharkhand was in news because of online sale of liquor. For this purpose, Jharkhand has partnered with Zomato and Swiggy for the home delivery of liquor. And last news is related to Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So recently, National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency said that Coir geotextiles will be used for the construction of road under this Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. And this NRIDA, that is National Rural Infrastructure Development Agency, is under Ministry of Rural Development. So these were the most important news. Now, if you want current affairs only in quiz format, you can skip this section. Thank you, and that's all for the day.